Hello everybody, Shotgun into 1000 new Body for Duty, welcoming you back to more Pokemon HeartGold. Last time, we explored down Route 32 once and for all, making our way towards this Pokemon Center over here, which we didn't do in the last episode because we kept getting ambushed by wild Pokemon and trainers. This time, we're going to be entering the Union Cave, but before I do that, something I wanted to state out. This guy over here that wanted to give us a phone number, I was wrong about him. He's not the Magikarp trainer. This guy is. This guy facing down out to sea. I'll bring him closer for you, because honestly the screen's glaring a lot. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But yeah, he is the guy that has 3 level 5 Magikarps and a level 15 Magikarp. And speaking of Magikarp, you can find them everywhere on the region if you have a particular item known as the Old Rod. Magikarp is basically the standard fish Pokemon found in every single Pokemon game. I would not recommend catching one if you're using the Old Rod because they are commonly known to have a highest level rating of level 8. Because it will only know the move Splash until it reaches level 15. But if you are patient enough and train him up to level 20, he will evolve into the most powerful Gyarados. And I actually used the Gyarados in my team on my Let's Go Eevee LP, and he was helpful, to say the least. I would recommend using a Gyarados if you have no other alternative approaches to using a good team member, because he is a good team member. The only thing is though, the Old Rod, I actually have no idea. I think it gets him somewhere down here. How would you like to have this tasty, nutritious Slowpoke tail? For you right now, just 1 million Pokédollars, which you can never ever hold in the entire game. And believe me when I say this, yeah, a Slowpoke tail. Right, I think it's this guy you talk to. This area is great for fishing. Look at all those people fishing. Did you feel that you wanted to try fishing too? I'll give you one of my rods. Yeah, he will give you the Old Rod. And honestly, I wouldn't even recommend equipping it because, like I say, you're just going to keep encountering Magikarps all over the place. Now, he was telling you how to use the Old Rod. I think we all know how to do it by now because it's been, what, 23 years of Pokemon games? I think it's about time we actually know. That guy's the trainer. Now, if you manage to pick up the HM for Rock Smash, I would highly recommend you teach it to a Pokemon that can learn it. Centrant, I thought she could, but unfortunately she can't. So we're going to have to teach it to Onyx. Which is alright, because we're not actually planning on using an Onyx on our team. We're going to get rid of Bind, because that's not really a good move. And when you use the Rock Smash here, you're going to be given what I believe might be an interesting item, but at the same time, kind of not. You get the Shell Bell. Shell Bells are basically a held item that will always heal the Pokemon holding the item when they deal damage to the opposing Pokemon. But the thing is, it will always heal up half the health you've dealt damage to. So like say, you did 40 HP of damage to your opposing Pokemon and you will only get 20 in return. That's what it does. I'm going to give this held item to Cyndaquil for the time being. And why not? We'll battle this guy. Yeah, just one rock throw and it'll be done. Oh, you got 3 Pokemon. No, never mind. I guess you got 2 Pidgeys and the Pidgeotto. Unless you have a new Pokemon on your team. Yeah, that's kind of said obvious. Onix growing up a level. Yeah, you got a new Pokemon. This is Spearow. Spearow is actually known to be another Pidgey in Kanto, except Pidgey is known to evolve twice, whereas Spearow is only known to evolve once. It can be a fast physical sweeper, but if you want to use it as your flying HM slave like I did in my very first ever playthrough of this game, by all means do it. But if you prefer to go for a Pidgey, then that's fine as well. You can do it in 2 ways possible. Whichever way is best suited for you, that's perfectly fine. So here we go. We are now inside Union Cave. And in Union Cave, we can have 1 brand new encounter. But before that, we're going to pick up this item, which contains an X attack. I think we already went over what those things do, but if we didn't, then... Oh, here you go. Here's the new encounter. So, hang on. Yeah, let me go back to what I was saying there. The X attack are battle items. You basically use them to raise 1 of 7 stats that you can pretty much do. X accuracy will boost the accuracy, X attack is attack, X defend is defend, and so on basically. But the new Pokemon here, Sandshrew, is not the greatest of all ground types really. The only decent ground type attack it can honestly learn by leveling up is Sand Tomb, which is a very weak ground type move that locks Pokemon into battle for approximately 5 turns at best. But the strongest move it can learn in this level up moveset, when it evolves into a Sandslash, clue is in the name, is Slash. It has mediocre stats, which is roughly balanced. It can be really slow, and it can hit roughly pretty hard, but that's where the positivity ends on this Pokemon really. I mean, a good move knowing to be Slash for Sand Slash, to hit hard but not be able to take damage hard, and it's also really slow, so you're more likely going to be having Sand Slash get KO'd more times than it KOing them. Unless you had it hold on to a particular item to actually increase the chances of them to hit first. Which you probably would think that Sandshrew has a random chance of holding. They don't. Only 1 Pokemon has a chance of holding that particular item, and we're not going to be able to encounter it for a long, long time. So that's all I can honestly say about it. I know I didn't actually need to battle that Sandshrew, but I just fancy doing it anyway. Now we have an optional trainer up here, which actually blocks your way to the stairs up there. And the stairs... Well, actually, it doesn't actually fully block you, honestly. If there's light, a cave isn't scary. If you're strong, Pokemon aren't scary. If you breathe fire, then you got wicked heartburn. I'm kidding. No. Fire breather Ray. You want about this trainer to actually encounter this Pokemon in HeartGold. This is Vulpix, the Firefox Pokemon. And honestly, one of the cutest Pokemon I can honestly think of in my entire life. I don't care what any of you guys say, Vulpix is cute. In both forms. Now, the only thing that's actually kind of interesting about Vulpix, you can only find a Vulpix in Soul Silver. You cannot find them in HeartGold. It can actually learn some very, very, very good moves. But we'll go over about Vulpix as a Pokemon later on in the LP, because you can actually encounter them in the wild in a later route. Okay, and then we use Tackle, finish off the Vulpix. And there's a Shell Bell taking effect. Honestly, it is more of an interesting item to use if used in the correct way possible, but that's just me. If we go down these stairs, you can see it's a little bit of a dead end. And I was pretty sure you can actually find another Pokemon in this area, but if not, then I'll mention him. Okay. There should be a new encounter to be found in Union Cave, but if we can't find him in Union Cave when we get out, I will mention it. Here we got TM39 Rock Tomb, which can be a good move, but honestly, in my opinion, it's not. It is known to have 80 accuracy, 50 power, but it will always lower the opponent's speed if they manage to hit. And I tell you, a little history with the TM of Rock Tomb. Not in this game, but in another game. I taught it to a Pokemon that it was going to help it 100%. And I was against a particular type Pokemon that was weak to Rock Tomb. And every single turn of using Rock Tomb, I kept missing. And even worse, the Pokemon knocked out the Pokemon that was using Rock Tomb by using moves that was not known to be very effective against the holder of the move. You're probably thinking, what game was this? I'm not really going to spread anything about it yet, but you'll find out in due time. Here's an X Defend, which is basically the physical defense version of the physical attacking X Attack. And now you see exactly what I mean about constant... Oh, here we go. Here's the new encounter. Constant new encounters spawning in hand, right, and center. Geodude. Originally, I was actually planning on using a Geodude to be a member of my team. It can be a good Pokemon to have, but it does have some significant downsides. I could have made a joke about that, but I'm all serious about this. Being a rock and ground type, it has great physical defense, but that's where all the positives are to be highlighted for rock type Pokemon. Because its greatest stats for all rock types are physical defense, but with this Pokemon having 5 weaknesses alone, it can be real hard. But with its ground type, it does block some of Rock's weaknesses, which is actually really good, but it doesn't actually block all. It does have a quad weakness to both grass and water, which are the most common types in the game. So that will make it really hard to raise a Geodude all the way up to his evolved form, Golem. Because grass and water types are most common in all Pokemon games. I did actually have this Pokemon used on a team at one point, but it honestly didn't work out so well. It was getting knocked out in literally every single fight. Unless it was a wild Pokemon battle. So, yada. Okay. It honestly was the only member in my team at the time who kept fainting and being known to have a low base speed, which answers why it kept getting knocked out all the time. You can only evolve Geodude to his final form Golem by trading, which is easy if you either have 2 DSs or a friend to trade with, because the GTS thing no longer exists. Unless you're playing the latest Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you kind of get my drift. But honestly, yeah. It would honestly be hard for me, personally, of using Pokemon that you can evolve by trading. And the reason why is because I'm a very lonely person. I hardly have any friends. So the only time I can ever do trade evolutions is if I trade with myself. Which is why, for DS games, I have a Nintendo DS as well as a DS Lite, as well as a 2DS if the in-game trade evolution was to be specifically on a Nintendo 3DS game. But for the Nintendo Switch, that was actually really hard because you needed 2 Nintendo Switches for Sword and Shield, as well as Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, to actually evolve the Pokemon. So that's why when the Sassy and Samacenta Nintendo Switch Lite Special Edition console was released last year, or sometime around the beginning of January, I planned to get that Switch Lite as soon as possible, because I've never ever managed to obtain a games console that was known to be a special edition. Like, there was a black Wii U that had a free Zombie U inserted into it. I think there was a special Mario or Luigi one as well, maybe, unless that's a Nintendo Wii. 360, I think it had one under Halo, but I'm not really a massive fan of Halo, because shooting games is not really my strong suit. For DS's, there was a limited Pikachu 3DS or 2DS. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was 3DS. So, yeah. All of those limited edition game consoles I could have had, but I didn't, because I didn't even know they were released at the time. But when I found out the news about the Sassy and Samacenta Nintendo Switch Lite Special Edition, I just had to get it. Mainly because I needed another Switch to help me do trade evolutions whenever I wasn't with anybody to help do the trade evolutions with. Because I do have 2 friends in the world, and I only get to see them on Saturdays every week. But with this quarantine going on, I can't do that. I really can't. And in case you're wondering, yeah, we are going to be here for a while if I keep going on and talking about this. So I think after this battle, we will be calling an end to this episode. Which apparently is right now. So yeah. There are a lot of trainers to be found in the Union Cave, and we are going to be here for a while if we just constantly walk around and get ambushed by wild Pokemon. Oh, hello! Cyndaquil wants to learn Quick Attack. Quick Attack is actually the same base power as Tackle in future games, but is 5 base power greater. Here we go. Quick Attack is 40 power, 100 accuracy. Tackle 35 power, 95 accuracy in Gen 4. You can tell I want to replace Tackle for Quick Attack. And there we go. That calls an end to this episode. Next time on Pokemon HeartGold, we will get to the other end of the Union Cave and see what beckons us on the other side. See you guys then.